If it wasn't for you, I never would have even made it here. So thank you.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, please have a delve at the playlist and see what you like. There's several playlists of very different things, so hopefully you'll find something you like. But I want to do a video today that it's just a springboard from a book that I found. So I found this book and I grabbed it. I thought, that's interesting. It was secondhand as well, so it was only like a couple of quid. Oops. Dispatches from an Heiress, Tales in Tribute to Ursula K Le Guin. So if you're regular on my channel, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Ursula K Le Guin. She's in my top 3 all-time authors. And the contributors are a whole load of people I don't recognise, as well as Curtis Chen, who I do, and Fonda Lee, Molly Glass, I think I recognise, but loads of people I don't recognise. But they're all paying tribute to Ursula K Le Guin. And it made me think about these books, which I'll get to in a second. But the whole concept of authors paying tribute to another author by telling a story in that style or set in that world or that kind of thing. And I thought it just a kind of a different concept to musicians that do it. So my favourite band is XTC, and this is a fantastic compilation called Testimonial Dinner of loads of brilliant people doing some of XTC's best songs. It's a brilliant tribute album. If you're a fan of XTC, definitely recommend this tribute album. So it's got things like Earn Enough for Us, Wake Up, Making Plans for Nigel, The Man Who Sold Sailed Around His Soul. I can't really read this, I'm writing very well. Another Satellite, 25 O'Clock, that's so good. Statue of Liberty, and Joe Jackson does Statue of Liberty. They Might Be Giants does 25 O'Clock. Ruben Blades does The Man Who Sailed Around His Soul. Sarah McLachlan's in it. The Rembrandts do Making Plans for Nigel. Crash Test Dummies, Freddie Johnson, Space Hog. It's a really interesting selection of people, and this is one of the best, possibly the best tribute album I've ever seen. I've got one of Bruce Springsteen as well, which I couldn't find, which I was going to show you, but I can't find it. That's a really good one as well. But I did have one really good one with Randy Newman as well, and it got stuck in a CD player. So I lost that because I had to get rid of the CD player and I couldn't get the CD out. But anyway, that's really good. And then I've got another random one of, it's called Avalon Blues, and it's a tribute to the music of Mississippi John Hurt, which is really cool. And you've got, where we go? Oh, this is so, oh yeah, that's all right. Just Steve Earls on it, Lucinda Williams, Bruce Cockburn, Alvin Youngblood Hart, Gillian Welsh, Taj Mahal, and John Hyatt. There's some of the people that are on it. So that's pretty good. And it is a really good CD as well. And then you've got, this is an interesting one because I bought this in Spain. And these are loads of Spanish artists doing Spanish versions of Creedence Clearwater Revival songs. So that's pretty cool. And it's a really good album, actually. So obviously, it's all in Spanish. So I'm just enjoying the music. But it's a tribute to Creedence, all in Spanish. So that's pretty cool. So I like that kind of thing. With books, it's just a bit different. I'd love to know what your experience has been with this. Have you found a book that was in tribute to another author and really loved it? I'd really love to know. So, Dispatches from an Heiress I bought as a tribute to Ursula K Le Guin, and I'm going to read at least some of this next year. But a while back, I had 2 different tributes to Ray Bradbury. So this feels gorgeous, this one. It's got a really lovely feel to it. Which is really cool. So it's also quite a cool cover by Tom Gould. But so you can see who's on it. Like Margaret Atwood, Dave Eggers, Harlan Ellison, Neil Gaiman, Joe Hill, Alice Hoffman, Nellie Link, Robert McCammon, Jacqueline Mitchard, Audrey Niffenegger. There's more than that though. There's more. I know that there were some others that I was like, oh. Why did I think that? Oh, they're probably the most famous ones. Oh, David Morrell's in there. Yeah. So that's an interesting compilation, tribute to Ray Bradbury, and I read some of it, and it is good. But these are more tributes to his style, so they're just offering up a story that's like that. This one's a little bit different. This one, Bradbury Chronicles, stories in honor of Ray Bradbury, and they are set in Ray Bradbury's worlds, which is really interesting. And the range of people is really interesting. So you've got Isaac Asimov, Charles Grant, Richard Matheson, Chad Oliver, Charles Beaumont, Richard Christian Matheson, Charles Beaumont again, Gregory Benford, Robert Sheckley, Orson Scott Card, William F. Nolan, and a few others. And they're often setting these stories in the worlds that Ray Bradbury has created, or they're follow-ups to the stories and that kind of thing. So I haven't read any of this one yet, but I'm definitely going to read this in 2026 as well. I think it's really interesting. And this is a really good collection. I've read a lot of this, and it's really good. He is Legend, a tribute to Richard Matheson. And obviously Ray Bradbury, Richard Matheson, and Ursula K Le Guin are my three favourite authors. And these are stories written by Stephen King, Joe Hill, Paul Wilson, Whitley Strieber, Nancy Collins, and a few others. Joe Lansdale, Richard Christian Matheson, did I say that? No, Richard Christian Matheson, his son. William F. Nolan's there again. Ed Gorman. Yeah, so this is a really good, and there's actually a story written by Joe Hill and Stephen King together as well. So this is a really nice collection, actually. He is Legend, tribute to Richard Matheson. So recently there was a book that was released, and this book was a really interesting collection that was a tribute to The Stand. It was called It's the End of the World as We Know It, and as you can see, it's all about making a tribute to that specific book by Stephen King. So that is a moment like that Ray Bradbury book where these authors are referencing specific things in The Stand. So we got Joe Lansdale again. We've got C. Robert Cargill, who I really love his two robot apocalypse books, but not so much his fantasy books I read. Richard Chismar, who collaborated with Stephen King on Gwendy's Button Box and the other books in that series. Poppy Z. Bright, Nat Cassidy, S.A. Cosby, who I'm a big fan of, V. Castro, who did the Alien spin-off book Vasquez, Paul Tremblay, obviously famous for Head Full of Ghosts and Cabinet at the End of the World, Chuck Wendig, who did had a lot of publicity when he wrote this massive horror book called Wanderers, Catherine Valente, who I'm not a fan of. I read her space opera, I thought it was terrible. Sarah Langan, who wrote The Missing, and I thought that was really good. And it's edited by Christopher Golden and Brian Keane. So that's kind of an interesting thing that came up this year that's along these kind of lines. I'd love to know if anyone's read that and what they thought of that. I can't really buy that because I haven't read The Stand yet. So I've read tons of Stephen King and I'm a big fan, but I haven't read that yet. And there's another thing that's been out quite a while I'd love to get. It came out in 2019. And that's called The Unquiet Dreamer. And it's a tribute to Harlan Ellison. So obviously, I've been talking about Harlan Ellison a lot on my channel, and I'm a big collector of his stuff. And there will be something coming up probably in January, which is my top 10 Harlan Ellison stories. But this collection, called The Unquiet Dreamer, features Samuel Delaney, Bruce Sterling, Lisa Tuttle, David Gerald, who wrote one of my favourite books, The Man Who Folded Himself, Gregory Benford, John Skipp, Greg Bear, Robert Silverberg, and a bunch of other people I don't know. And it's edited by Preston Grassman, who also provides a story as well. And a tribute to Harlan Ellison really fascinates me because he's got a very specific sound in the author's voice. That's one of the things I like about Harlan Ellison. You can tell it's him when you're reading it. I'm just wondering if these people have decided to try and adopt that style of writing when they write it. I don't know. So I'd love to have that. But I've only ever seen it really expensive. So it seems to be pretty rare. But if I ever get that, I'll be chuffed to beans, as they say. So yeah, let me know what you think of all that kind of thing. Do you have any books that are tributes to other authors? Have you had a good experience with that? Do you like the idea? Do you think it's a load of nonsense? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay curious, everybody.
future.